All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first match of 5 Digit European Cup 2026. And my name is Philoxen. I'm the host of the tournament, and today I am joined by the lovely Torva Zero. Hello, man. How are you doing?
Hello, hello. I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to see this match. I'm happy just to be here, to be honest, to be here for the first week and hopefully for the entire thing. Because just from the small names I do know throughout this tournament, I'm quite excited to see because I know a lot of these players are really good players. So, again, I can't get over it. I'm excited and I hope it all goes well.
For sure, man. And yeah, we're here for a reason. It is Russia Seed 1 versus Team Switzerland Seed 16. After a certain incident with Team Turkey, Switzerland moved up one seed because they were Seed 17 initially, and they were supposed to play in minor league, but now they are up against the strongest team on paper in the entire tournament. So it's gonna be a fun thing to watch. And yeah, I believe with this we can introduce the teams. In the left side of the screen, you have Russian Federation. This team is terrific. They have 8 extremely experienced tourney players with years of experience and a ton of those tourney badges. Some of them have banners, some of them have badges. Some of them won 5WC minor league. So yeah, it's always Russia that steals the spotlight in the beginning of those country-based tourneys like 5WC and 5EC, but last time they were not able to actually get a podium. So now they're on their redemption arc. Some would call them the villains of the story. And then you have Switzerland, which also has more than enough tourney players, but they are not that much stacked. They do cover a bunch of skill sets, so I definitely do see some of them trying to abuse maybe DT2, maybe Nomad 4, because those were the maps that they got really high seedings on. For example, Seed 7 on Nomad 4 and something like Seed 8 on DT2. Therefore, you might have some chances when it comes to that 6.0 SR pool, but I think I've been speaking too much to right. We are now entering the ban phase, and we already got our two of the first and the last bans.
Yeah, getting rid of that No Mod 4 and Hard Rock 1, getting rid of that, the Hard Rock generic aim, the kind of map, and then the more difficult of the tech map with the No Mod 4 being gone. Kind of sad to see both those maps go, but I mean, 4 maps at the end of the day have to go, I believe it is. Or, no, is it 2 bans gone every each time? Might have got that wrong. But either way, getting rid of, 2 really good maps, it's sad to see, but again, maps do have to go, and it's just best to get either your opponent's strengths out of the way or your teammates' weaknesses, and just play the maps you're going to be most comfortable on. And I'm excited to see what Switzerland pick here, I believe it is.
Yeah, that is definitely a great question, but it seems like Nomad 3 without any questions from them. It is a control map. They do have a bunch of pretty strong control players. For example, you have you have Zakatel. He's an all-rounder, just without those tapping skill sets, and that's really great. Then you have Kayamori, who is overall a super strong control player, getting around top 15 placements on those Nomad 3, Nomad 4, Nomad 5 maps and qualifiers. Also can play a bunch of different mods. So I think these two are gonna be the main hope for Switzerland. And in fact, we are seeing Kayamori and Zakatel already. They are helped with Vapsme and Shadow. Shadow is another Phil player, and Vapsme is the captain. Not so long ago, ranking up from 6 digit, having a ton of experience, and we'll see how he performs in the 5 digit tournament. And then Russian Federation, yep, you have Frindin, you have Raging Dashi. Raging Dashi, by the way, is the player with, I believe, the least of experience in the team. And otherwise, you have those 3 core players. It's Violence, Mausarte, and Frinding. And it's a very ballsy move from Switzerland, if you ask me, because they're picking Nomad 3. Nomad 3 is a Russian song, so they're kind of trying to get into their territory and try to start off the game with a certain dominance. So we'll see how this goes. It's your Snap alt map, and there is pretty much nothing else to add up. It does not have that much flow as the Nomad 3 in qualifiers was. So this one is pretty chill in terms of Akin, in terms of combo gaming. I believe we did see a couple of SS plays from our replayers, so I'm excited to watch that. But Torva, we have a 6.0 star rating pool, and I believe that is actually great for Team Switzerland since in the qualifiers they definitely got skill capped some of their players, but considering their experience, I feel like this is might be a chance.
Yeah, I mean, going to the more reasonable star rating pools where a lot of these players can definitely play them, it's going to be a lot easier for those, maybe in a case like this where, Russian Federation are the favorites. There's still a chance for Switzerland to get, really good scores out. And, if they hold good combos, which they very much can do at this level, they can still bring points back that maybe weren't so expected. And I think No More 3 being the first pick for that is not only a capitalization on that point, but also, again, as you mentioned, I think it's quite funny that they're picking the Russian song into the Russians, kind of trying to shake them on home advantage, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, that is you put it very well, Torva. And right off the bat, seems like the plan is going a bit south. In fact, it is going to the Russian department. You have crazy accuracies from three of the players getting 99, even though it's just the early days. Still, that accuracy advantage right off the bat is speaking volumes. Kayamori Ruka as well gonna be falling a bit behind in the intersection, but Raging Dashi is trading him as we're entering the first KI.
Yeah, I mean, this map is long enough that, those early misses aren't going to cause too many problems for these players, but again, it's those later sections where if you do find a misses or, just a downsize on the combo compared to everyone else, your team might find a bit of struggles, and especially on that accuracy department with it being 4v4, everyone's accuracies are kind of going to be multiplied a bit more, and, you can kind of see in that scoreline where it is kind of shaking left and right, but it is still in favor of Russia, despite the fact they had, a much bigger break from Dash rather than, Ruka's earlier miss. And
Yeah.
these scores are still so close, but, 3 combos each side, it's going to do quite well for both teams right now.
Yeah, dude, no one wants to be the first one to fall, and this is what makes it beautiful. And you know what? In the combo, advantage is actually for Switzerland right here, because Raging Dashi has a lower combo than Kayamori Ruka. The support is winning, and the lead is gonna be shifting over, but a crucial double break, right as I was saying that.
Oh, yeah, there's 2 misses on side of Switzerland from Vapsme and Shadow, but, Friendin does also trade it out. Russia still holding 2 full combos compared to the one from Zactail, who is kind of just holding on for their life. And I say it that way because they are clutching for their team, but their accuracy is still so nice, and the combo is just unreal from them. But again, 2 FCs to 1, it's going to be quite a difficult uphill battle, especially about only a quarter of the map left, maybe like 45 seconds. And you're going to need a miss from Malzahn and Violence if, you want Switzerland to win this point.
Yeah, Zakasel and Kayamori are fighting a losing battle right now. Vapsme and Shadow also recovering, but that's such a powerhouse on the side of Malzahn and Violence. These two have literally almost perma-lobbied everything in qualifiers and got multiple top 1, top 2 individual placements on maps, and they seem to strike once again. Just putting up some stellar performance with Malzahn finally finding a break, but it doesn't even matter because Rage and Dashi with Frinden are here for the recovery, for the support, and that is a breakpoint, ladies and gentlemen.
A breakpoint to open the match is disgusting, and sadly it is only 1 full combo from Violence because Zactail does miss literally in the last 3 notes, I think it was. That's unfortunate, but I mean, it's still a good showcase that, the Switzerland can pull up really good scores. I mean, 2 S ranks, 1 pretty much full combo, and still a really good score from Vapsme as well. But again, it's just, those 2 FCs pretty much just a different story, I guess you can say, with that scoreline.
No, for sure, man. And yeah, after that breakpoint, I think Russia could be very confident in other alt-heavy maps. For example, you have Fremont 1, which has those alt elements here and there, so that definitely would not be the choice for Switzerland to pick at any time soon. So yeah, but you know what? Russia, even though they literally have any single map to pick, and they will perform just you know they will perform as best as they can, because they got a couple of top 1 placements. They're seed 1 after all, but still, even though they are seed 1, they did have some slight weaknesses. For example, DT1, which they played in quals, they got seed 9 on, so maybe that could be the further opportunity for Team Switzerland to try and opt in their next picks, but that is a story for, a couple of minutes later. And this is what I was scared of, Toro, because we're seeing Hidden too, and Russia has a player that is probably the best easy and overall reading player in the tournament, which is Sound Boomer, and is the guy who got top 1 on by individual stats on Quals Hidden 2. So this is gonna be a really tough battle, another David versus Goliath type of matchup, and we're seeing Raijin Dashi as well, because Raijin Dashi is a really good hidden player. In fact, him and Sound Boomer were the ones that made the difference on that hidden 2 in Quals, and it seems like Lefruited and Friend, the veterans of the team, are also showing up.
Yeah, going into this hidden 2, I feel like it'd be something not necessarily scary for Switzerland, but something you might not be comfortable going against, Russia with, because again, as you said, they have such fantastic hidden 2 players. One of the players getting the top score in qualifiers, and just knowing that is, if you do know that, especially as someone playing in the match, that's got to put you off a small bit, knowing that, one of your opponents is going to pull out an insane score. So you've just got to hope that his teammates not necessarily let him down, but don't put nearly a strong performance out so then your team can get that chance to push back. But again, it's Russia's team for this have just been just so strong, and Hidden 2 being their pick, especially their first pick, and already having a point, it's definitely not a comfortable situation to be in at all.
Yeah. And honestly, if you look at it right now, you're actually not seeing Sound Boomer, but even then, when it comes to Switzerland, to those hidden 2s, the best hidden player they have is GG Boy. GG Boy got around 400k on hidden 2, and that was the top score. Everyone else got lower. While you look at Russian Federation, and even without Sound Boomer, they would very well place something like top 2 or top 3 by team performances. So even without Sound Boomer, this is gonna be one hell of a map for Team Switzerland. It will feature your rhythmic tapping slightly, and overall density is the name of the map. So better watch out, better hope that they have practiced the map, but yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and an early miss coming out from GG Boy, but again, it's not too much of a problem. This map is on the longer end at 3 minutes 23, so those early breaks, especially from Speedy and Shadow as well, if they come out this early and they don't have problems later, then there shouldn't be an issue. But that small bit of backdrop coming out from Shadow, maybe not so comfortable on this hidden 2. Whereas, you look at Russian Federation, who has Dashi still holding onto an SS, about 300 combo in, and, 99s from all of them except from Friendin, who is at 96, but again, still holding combo, so there's not even a problem to worry about from them. Zactal for Switzerland is their only 4 combo right now, but GG Boy is holding the best accuracy, and Shadow does find another break, which is definitely to put them in a bad situation now at this combo.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely see that the fact that this map is lower start than the one in Quals is helping Switzerland by a lot, but it's still nothing. Even though Raijin Dashi is missing, you have 3 very stable FCs. Shadow is trading Raijin Dashi as well as we are entering the first KI. Zagatel and GG Boy though, props for them, 97-98% accuracy FCs, putting up a real fight for the Russia to try and get that point. And with the Fruited with the break, it's actually the combo advantage is gonna be on the side of Switzerland, and they are smelling blood in the water right here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that combo advantage has just dropped a bit because of Speedy Band's miss there, which is super unfortunate, but it's still very close combos between those two. It's just going to be hoping that one of the 2-4 combos on Russia do find a miss, which they do, because Wavy does find an unfortunate miss. Their accuracy is still ridiculously high, which is going to make it quite difficult for that score lead to flip back to Switzerland's favor. But if Switzerland can keep holding on for the last half of the map, there's still a very good chance this scoreline can flip over. It is decreasing slowly. It went from 195k and it's down to 175k. So as long as they keep that momentum going, they can bring this back so easily. But another miss coming out from Shadow is going to make that a small bit more of a problematic challenge for them.
We're entering the point of no return right here. Every miss matters. It plays a crucial role, and right now it is Friendin fighting against GG Boy and Zagatel. It is a losing battle, but he is still swinging. And Raijin Dashi with Lefruited are here with the recoveries, trying to support him, just reducing the damage. And that break from Zagatel spoke volumes. You could hear that. It's a tragedy in real time. And was that GG Boy is left alone with Speedyman with the recovery, but you look at the left side, Torvan, you can make a conclusion for yourself.
Yeah, like, GG Boy has such good accuracy as well to compete back with, but, Dashi building up such a strong combo, Wavy and Zactal both trading out immediately as well. And Frienden's just holding on to an insane combo. And with GG Boy dropping there, I think that does spell doom for Switzerland getting a point on this hidden 2. Russia have just pulling out a different game almost. They're so strong on this hidden 2. 3 of them on over 500 combo. And Wavy, I mean, even with the break, they still had an insanely strong combo beforehand. They're just overall so strong. And their weakest player has 500k. What do you mean?
Holy, and keep in mind, dear viewers, Soundboomer is not even playing. They're missing their strongest reading player, and still Frinden pulling off that stellar performance. You know, this is when you can say map different league, and this is what Russia is pulling off right now. 2-0, and well, it was expected, but that break point for Switzerland in before was pretty bad, so they need to try and recover that. But of course, we all know that it's seed 1 versus seed 16, so even 1 point is gonna be a pretty big win in Switzerland's book. So they need to try and do their best, and hopefully they will make Russia drop some blood.
Yeah, I think the Switzerland are definitely a team that can, you know, draw blood from Russia, where, you know, they have still got some very strong players on their team as a whole. Don't get me wrong, Russia, especially on something like Hidden, have such, like, unsurmountable, like, skilled players. But Switzerland do still have relatively good consistency. A lot of them have that experience, and a lot of them, you know, can find a map that they're all comfortable with, and they can just pull out a very good score as long as they don't get nervous, something like that, and they'll pull off a really good score. I do think they can definitely get points off of them, and I think that first break point, at least from my assumption, was just an unfortunate mispick, where the next ones they will be completely fine with.
Yeah, and if you ask me, if I were Team Switzerland, I would try and look what Russia banned, which was No Mod 4. So that would leave you thinking like, oh, so something like TAC would work. But also, if you look at the rest of the pool, the only map that consists of some TAC is that Hard Rock one that Switzerland banned themselves. So that literally leaves you without any of those TAC options. So you need to see some other opportunities, and to me, I believe I already brought it up, it was the DT1 quals performance that Russia didn't even manage to pull off a single FC in both runs. So maybe try to win that RNG battle on either DT1 or Nomad 1, which Switzerland also got some good scores. I believe we saw Evangelion guy getting around 800k and Ruka getting around 900, so gonna be something consistency based. And as I was saying, that it seems like it's gonna be one of your consistency slots, which is Fremont 1.
Yeah, this is not necessarily a confusing pick, but definitely not something I'd have expected to be pulled out early on. But then again, I wasn't really expecting the No Mod 3. And so picking it into, as you're saying, you know, the more, not necessarily gamble, but something that Switzerland were definitely strong on with qualifiers, like that No Mod 1, I definitely think could have been a shout. But, you know, this 3 mod 1, if it's something they've practiced, something they're comfortable on, then it is definitely the best way to go. It being 3 minutes 30, there are definitely so many opportunities here where even if you have an unfortunate beginning, as long as you combo the mid to end section, you should be more than good enough here.
Certainly, and especially when it comes to this map, you look at the SR, it is 5.5 without any mods, and this is literally bread and butter for some of those players on the side of Team Switzerland, because you have GG Boy, you have also Babsme, who are big fans of not such high star ratings, and they're pretty good in consistency. So this might play a big role in trying to get their first point. And now looking at mods, I think GG Boy might try and go with Hidden or Easy, and if GG Boy decides to, I think that's gonna be a really good thing to do, because easy multiplier for this map is 2.4x and easy HD is around 2.7. But Turbo, the catch is you also have Russia, who are really strong on those gimmicks. You have Violence, who can very well opt easy just the same way. So we might see an easy battle right here, but otherwise I believe I would put Kayam or Ruka, expect to play with Noma just for stable performance, and either Shadow or Zakatel with those hard rocks. For Russia, okay, you can call me crazy, but I think they will very well just overmod the map.
I feel like that could be the case, and honestly, I feel like Dashi might be the one running Hidden. I have to, there's just a slight gut feeling, again, with them being the new blood, but putting out such a strong score on that Hidden too, I feel like the team can trust them with a Hidden on this kind of map. And then overmodding, I mean, you're saying with Violence running the easy on top of that. If it becomes an easy battle between GG Boy and Violence, it's going to be spectacular. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully so. But yeah, I think Russia can very well just afford it over mod. They're in a very comfortable position right now, and we're seeing good luck, have fun in chat. And yeah, the mod combinations are unfortunately not going to be any easy from the Swiss side. It's going to be GG Boy up in Hidden Shadow, Hidden Hard Rock, and then we have Zakatel with Hidden and Kaimaruka for that stable score. Gonna be trying to trade Wavy, which is gonna be a really hard challenge. There you have Mausarta trying to trade Shadow and Violence with Hidden Hard Rock just being here and putting off some crazy performance as always.
An unlucky miss from GG Boy pretty early in. It shouldn't cause them too many problems with, the map's string length, but yeah, going on for those mod combinations, Violence and Shadow basically going the head-to-head with Hidden Hard Rock is definitely an interesting pick. We were going to guess that, both teams were going to, that Rush was going to overmod in particular, but both of these teams are pretty much identical with their mod picks, and not pretty much, sorry, they are identical. One Hidden Hard Rock, one Hidden Hard Rock, it's definitely a good choice. You get some solid scores going out, especially if your players on Hidden Hard Rock are super comfortable with the map in Hidden Hard Rock. They're just going to put out some, phenomenal scores and an extra bit of score bonus, which will definitely benefit your team if your Hidden Hard Rock player holds on longer.
Oof, yeah, and that basically means it's gonna be the battle of nerves right here, because the map is really easy, arguably the easiest map in the pool. It is 3 minutes, so, nerves might be kicking in by the end of the map, and so far, even without the ending section, it is Russia with slight advantage and accuracy advantage as well, because GG Boy dropping that first blood in the beginning, same for Shadow, but they're recovering pretty well as we're entering the first KI, and so far it's just tug of war and nothing moves rapidly. Okay, it's just slightly to the Russian side, but one break and it will slowly but surely go to Switzerland.
Yeah, and I mean, in a case like this where, this map can maybe not be stressful in the sense of difficult for these players, it'll be stressful knowing that one unfortunately timed miss will definitely swing that score to the other side, because these players are so close together. I mean, there are 99% accuracy across the board, and Wavy finally finds the break, which is the perfect opportunity for Switzerland, and they've seen it, which means they know they need to capitalize on this miss now more than ever if they want this score lead to flip over. And it's definitely going to be a uphill battle, because it's 250k score to build back, but there's time to do so if they all hold that combo. But GG Boy unfortunately does find a miss with the Hidden, which is not going to be ideal for them. And that score lead is no longer moving in their favor.
Yeah, they had the momentum, but momentum does not equal win. And with that break from GG Boy, it's gonna be a Russia favorite all over again right here. Look at those accuracies, 99.71 from both Rage and Dash and Mausart. The Violence was 98 with HDHR, and as I was saying, that Shadow dropped their FC with Hidden Hard Rock. Mausart might fall, but the damage has been done. 400k score damage, no easy multipliers are in Switzerland. And this is just very one-sided right here on that free mod one. Another break point, and they know what they have done. They're looking at that break, and this break is just heartbreaking for Team Switzerland to see, because they have 2 FCs. They're not even doing bad. They are getting 3 million score, in fact, but there's just nothing you can do against those incredible performances from both Russian players.
Yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal score coming out from Ruka as well. 99.5 on that no mod. Zakatel pulling out 98 with that Hidden. But Violence full comboing with Hidden Hard Rock, not even having a problem with the map at 98.4% accuracy, and Dash's 99.7% full combo, the highest accuracy in the lobby with 4 100s. I mean, I think that is probably the strongest newcomer you could put on, because this guy's just been pulling out score after score for all 3 maps that they've played so far, and a score like that as well to add to the mix is just... it's just something else at this point. It's just a different breed of player.
No, yeah, that is just insane if you ask me. I mean, Rage and Dash, yeah, the newest addition to the Russian roster, and just overall this year, Russia getting that fever dream roster that they could have ever wished for, and they got it. So they're already establishing dominance right off the bat, and that Fremont 1 win basically established that any of those other kind of consistency maps are not gonna work really well against Russia, even though it is a very much lower SR pool. For Switzerland is not gonna help because they're learning from past mistakes. Russia is just not giving up any single opportunity. They're playing it really safe. They are not overmoding on free mods. They are playing based off their strongest skill sets, and they're not goofing around anymore. So this is one hell of a threat for not only Switzerland but for other teams that may face them in the next rounds. And Boriska, the captain, is opting that DT2.
Yeah, I'm interested with this pick. I mean, I wasn't expecting the DT2 to come out from Russia, to be honest. I mean, they're strong on it, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting either like another hidden pick or maybe another like alt pick or maybe even any of the hard rocks remaining. But DT2 was just not on the list of my expectations there.
Ooh, I mean, yeah, honestly, DT2 is actually a great opportunity for Switzerland to try and get at least 1 point because they did get seed 7 on DT2 in qualifiers and they had Solg. Solg is a really strong DT2 player. I've seen the map, I believe, and we are seeing the guy being here. So, gonna be a fun to watch. The map itself is stamina heavy, just quite as the same as in qualifiers. It is 210 BPM. It is only 1 minute and 20 seconds, but it has a whole lot of tapping. So yeah, I'm expecting Malzarte to show up for Russia as he, I believe, top scored the DT2 in qualifiers. But as mentioned, I think if Switzerland want to try and pull off a comeback, this is the map that they need to try and grab.
Yeah, and I think this pick is also quite interesting because it being one of the speed maps of the pool, I think this map, yeah, about 2 times 220 BPM. It's going to be interesting because if Switzerland do win this point, they could quite quickly pick into that No Mod 5, which is quite similar in the sense of it being, more tapping heavy. And with No Mod 5 being a small bit faster, maybe they could lean more into their speed players like Solk, for example, or maybe, if they don't put out a score they're expecting on DT2, they know to avoid it and try and pick something else they might be more comfortable with. It could be quite interesting.
For sure. I mean, one map is all it takes, and then you will just hit the flow state. So hopefully this is what will happen for Team Switzerland. They're also getting Speedy banned for this map, the first appearance in the tournament. Well, we hope he is Speedy for a reason, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Then we have
name.
Evangelion Guy and Shadow. Evangelion Guy did play those tapping maps in qualifiers, and Shadow here for the overall support. So seems like a pretty balanced roster. This is almost the same roster as they had in qualifiers on those tapping maps. And so far looks promising. Boriska is also joining for Team Russia. He is your DT specialist. And of course, you are looking at the other three. It's Lafruit, Violence, and Malzarte. Those three got into... yeah, okay. Malzarte got top 1 overall in the entire tournament quals. And then you had Lafruit and Violence who shared top 3 and top 4. So those three are just demons. And then you have the glorious captain that is showing up for the first time. So yeah, we can only wish best of luck to both of the teams, as this map, honestly, for Switzerland is not gonna be that nervous to play, since I don't think it has many breaks. So, there is no opportunity for you to see the score, and also, it is just 1 minute 20 seconds, so it is really not, it's not probable that you will get nerves building up by the end of the map. So that RNG, the beautifulness of RNG is what they need right now. They need a miracle, and this map, this song as well is very hopeful. So
Yeah, I mean, you can't get nerves on a song like this. It's so calm, and even with DT, it's still a lot calmer than a lot of your normal songs. And again, with it being so short, there's just no real time for those nerves to build up. But the one problem with it being that short that will appear, and I think will probably be the problem for either of these teams if it occurs, will be early misses. Because again, it's a short map, and that combo and that score will build so much quicker. So those early misses could be a lot more punishing than any other map.
that is for sure. For some reason, they're still not starting, so we shall wait and see. But You know, if I were Team Switzerland, I would not even be worried because for those who are not aware, this is Swiss stage. It's not just round of 32 because you know it says Swiss stage 1. So you need to get 3 losses in order to actually get out of the tournament, and you need 3 wins to advance to quarterfinals. So they can afford a couple of losses before actually getting put out of the tournament. So it's not that bad, especially considering they know what's happening right now. Seed 1 is almost impossible to beat, so 1 point is gonna be all they need right here, and we shall wait and see. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, instead of saying with it being, 3 losses, it kind of makes, having to fight the daunting team of Russia a bit less scary, knowing that, even if you lose this match, you're not going to be gone, like, completely, and you still have chances in the lower brackets to bring back up. And, I mean, I'm just talking from my own experience of seeing tournaments. A lot of players, when they're first in the winner's bracket, do find problems, but as soon as they're in loser's bracket, they pull off some crazy scores. And real quick, Speedy Ben and Violence both finding really early breaks, but trade each other out. But the accuracy for both of them is quite unfortunate, and Sulk is kind of the strongest accuracy by far right now on this map.
Holy, I mean, this guy have stated for a reason last time. And right now we're entering the heavier tapping section. Switzerland is not breaking, but it's just Russia with the accuracy. It is superior. You have 97 from Mozart, and all the others are holding the respectable accuracies. But that double break, even Guy and Shadow, those accuracies are speaking for themselves. They tried their best to hold on. It's only the last quarter left. Sulk and Speedy Ben are still here, but Torva, just look at that scorebar.
Yeah, it's so upsetting to see. They pulled out some good accuracies across the board. I mean, Mialzart just putting out a 98% on this map is just fantastic. I mean, it's so unfortunate for Switzerland. I mean, it's such a short map that you don't even get a chance to bring it back. And if that was the case this map, I do think there could have been a chance, but then you look at the accuracies from all of the players on Russia, just 4 S ranks and a full combo from Mialza and Lefru is just, and Boriska, sorry, it's just 3-way FC on that is just disgusting. That tapping ability is just, it's just unrivaled almost.
Man, and this is by far the biggest team difference we have seen between those two. It is 1.3 million, and that just leaves me up thinking that, the next pick from Team Russia would actually be something like Nomad 5 if Switzerland somehow got a point right here, because even if Switzerland does get a point, that speed department that the Russian players have is just massive. So yeah, it's basically not that many opportunities for Switzerland. Anything they try, Russia just completely counters and gets like 500,000 team advantage. So it's really desperate, but I still see that DT1 being on the board, which wasn't picked before, and yeah.
I've seen the map get picked. It's being picked. My hometown, my favorite, the No Mod 2. It's the No Mod 2. Oh, I have some biases towards this. I love this map. This map, I more specifically Top Lift because it's what I play, is so fun. But the song itself is so enjoyable. And, I mean, this diff as well isn't even, like, it's not even obnoxious. It's just a good map to play. And with it being a longer map, that consistency is definitely going to be important. But on top of that, it's that nerve control and just accuracy, especially on a map like this where the OD's a bit more forgiving. The BPM isn't out of these players' reach. It's just going to be an exciting map, whether it's the final map or, the start of something for Switzerland to maybe snowball their momentum and just shut down the Russians' momentum. It could be a very solid pick. It could be a banger last map. Time will tell, right?
It could be anything, but one thing we know for sure that it is quite brave from Team Switzerland to actually go into tapping right after they lost the DT2, which was another tapping map by over than 1 million team score. So we see that map name Get Your Wish. We hope that they will get their last wish, because it's right now do or die for them. 4-0 is not something you want to be. And this map, a great way to just relax your nerves, and I think that might be playing on the side of Team Switzerland right here. They are already set with their lineup. It's even giving guys Sulk, Shadow, and Speedy Ben, the same people you saw on DT2. And with that, Frinden is gonna be joining for Team Russia. Melzart and Violence are not even leaving from the lobby. Those guys are just insane. And we're out here to see the fourth player. The map itself is Comfort Streams. EVTH is one of those tapping map pioneers. And his maps are really enjoyable, as Torva already said.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with the tapping point you made earlier, because don't get me wrong, yeah, Russia just absolutely wiped the floor with that DT2, and especially with it being a lot more mechanics. But I would argue this map is such a different style of tapping because it's a lot more consistency, it's a lot less strain and a lot less force required compared to that 222 BPM map, where, you know, this is pretty much 30 BPM lower and definitely be a lot easier for these players. But again, it's still gonna be that stamina requirement coming out, so you kind of just gotta hope they didn't burn out on that last map.
Yeah, that is true. Especially considering this map is also quite low SR for a 6.0 SR pool. Considering it is tapping, it is only 5.88, so it should be one of the most accessible maps for the players overall. So another potential RNG battle right here, and we are starting off with the actual map gameplay, because we're seeing those streams, and on those streams we clearly can tell that Evangelion Guy is slowly falling behind, with that accuracy dropping to 89 all the way from 100.
Yeah, that early act drop is super unfortunate, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? There's still so much map time remaining. You can definitely fix the accuracy later in, and I mean, this map does start not brutal, but definitely with a bit of challenge, with the fact it did start with pretty much a death stream to start the map. Oh, but a really unfortunate, just out of nowhere miss coming out from Speedy Ben. I think it might have been a slider break. I'm not entirely sure, but it was definitely not a section I thought anyone would be missing on. But you know, it's sometimes it just happens like that. There's still the four full combos coming in from Russia, all of them on disgusting accuracies. I mean, Meowser is still pulling out an SS. And, you know, and the rest of the three are still pulling out good 99 scores.
Oh my days. And Lefrooted is not even here. The guy who was the best player on Nova 2 in Quals, he is not present. And they do not even need him right now, because you have that Melzart with an SS and all the others 99. And with that, even though Switzerland, they are putting up a great rivalry for Team Russia, but look, no, the accuracy advantage is speaking for itself, especially with that break from Speedy Ban in the beginning is not gonna do it. And currently we are halfway through the map. There is just a point of no return, and well, what can you even do against that?
Yeah, it's terrifying to think that even if Speederman didn't break, they would still be like almost 100k in the lead just purely off accuracy alone. You know, Meowser finally dropping the SS, but still holding on to a 99.7. Evangelion Guy, you know, holding on to a very strong combo like the rest of the team, but, you know, just a small bit behind on the accuracy, which I think, sadly, is definitely putting a bit of a problem on the team, and especially with Speedy Ben's break, where, you know, their accuracy is still very strong. Same with Shadow, same with Sulk. It's just that combo being a bit behind is definitely, it's definitely just unfortunate, and there's not much you can say about it. I mean, the only saving grace for Switzerland right now is for them to continue doing what they're doing, and Russian Federation just to fall apart. That is kind of the only thing you can bank on if you're Switzerland in this case.
Yeah, for sure, and it's just not happening. The lead is growing and growing as we're entering the last KI. It is already 350k score difference. Even if someone from Russia breaks right now, is not gonna be enough. But they don't even seem to plan in doing that. It might be the highlight of the week so far, and this is what happens when you are, you know, when we have one of the most accessible maps in the pool and make a seed one team play it. Shadow fighting behind, falling behind right now. Speedy Ben recovering, and you have a WC on the side of Team Switzerland, like 3 million. Torva, like, don't get me wrong, I think Team Switzerland, they played really well today. And
yeah,
in stats of the first Swiss stage, I think they will be higher than some of the teams that are higher seeded than them. But Russian, oh my god. Oh my god, you know...
Yeah, just playing against Russia is your first opponents where your scores can be ridiculously strong, as they have been in this match, but to go against a team that have had a player, I think, full combo every map, And then on the No More 2 had a 4-way FC. The DT2 had a 3-way FC. And then just a full combo, at least from one player on every other map. I mean, that is just... what can you really do against a team like that?
Yeah, yeah. Last time it was Germany with a complete hydrogen bomb roster, and this time it is Russia's turn. They are here. Last time they got seed 1 and got knocked out in the round semi-final stage. This time they have brand new roster. They got all of their most experienced players, and they are in for the money, Torva. They just completely destroyed. They pulled that pool apart, and I'm only scared to think what they have in store for us for the next round.
Yeah, I mean, same here. That I just can't get over that level of like that dominant performance. You know, again, scores at every map that are insane, and you know, players for literally everything, which is something you'd expect in a 4v4 style tournament. But you know, at the level they have at this caliber is just it's just disgusting in its own right. I mean, like, players that have so much experience, but then even bringing in a new player who not only kept up, but then still put out insane scores of their own compared to their own team. How do you make a strong team stronger each time?
No, yeah, that's the nature of the team. They have so many players, and they're one of the most dedicated, like, overall players and countries to have those crack tourney players. Because even when we did like that prediction stream, we all knew that, for example, even compared to France and Germany that had a lot of tourney players, but some of them still were like new to the scene. When it comes to this roster, all of them have played for some decent time in terms of tourneys. And some of them have already won some major tournaments. Like, you have Lefruited with 3 badges, if I'm not wrong, or 2 badges. And all the others, they're just super strong for the rank range. And even though we had BWS, that was just not enough for those demons to get rid of them. But yeah, Torva, I think there's nothing much to add on. The next match is going to be at 17 UTC, which is in 1 hour and 20 minutes. There will be a strimping, and I believe it's going to be Kazakhstan versus Italy, which is a seed 8 or a seed 9 matchup. And you know, I really hope that we're gonna see some insane scores, as well as we did see from the previous 2 teams, and that match is gonna be pretty close and entertaining. But do you have anything to add, Torva?
I don't think so currently. All I can say is make sure to keep an eye out for that match, because it's just going to be as good as this one, maybe even better if it's closer.
Yep. That's great. And yeah, that was your first match of Irish European Cup in the year 2026. In the future, we are only hoping that you will enjoy the next matches more and more, and we are glad that we had such online on the stream already, and we're looking forward to see you very, very soon. But for now, my name has been Philoxen. Joining me was Torva Zero. Thanks, man. Yeah. And yeah, in the commentary, the commentary booth, you also had Frauen, our dear streamer. And thank you, Abgula, for rapping. But for now, that's gonna be your 5EC staff team signing off. Bye bye, guys, and have a nice day.
Bye bye.